Welcome everyone to the Bio 101 Partnering webinar for the upcoming Maryland Tech Council's Bio Innovation Conference this year. I am Lorenzo Tucker, Manager of Partnering Delivery at Bio. I'm happy to be here, and it's always nice to work with such the nice people at the Maryland Tech Council. Um, we're going to learn a bit more about the Bio 101 partnering system and the one-on-one partnering system uh, in regards to how it pertains to this year's event. Um, so I'll start with today's agenda. First, we're going to just go over a quick overview of the Bio 101 partnering, again, particularly for this event. And then I'll offer some uh, best practices as well. And then we'll get into the Bio 101 partnering system live demo. And then I'll save time at the end for a question and answer session. I do want to mention that I do have some colleagues of mine at Bio, Brian and Louisa, who are helping me answer questions. So feel free to um, leave your questions in the question and answer box in the meantime as we get closer, to that section of the webinar. We will be answering those as well. Okay, so partnering at the 2024 Bio Innovation Convention Conference. Partnering takes place in the form of 30-minute meetings. They take place on site. It looks like this year the meeting place that the partnering meetings will take place is in the Brookside room on level 2. Ryan and myself will be on site just outside of the Brookside room. So if you need any last minute partnering assistance or you have any last minute questions, we'll be there and happy to help you get those questions answered. Partnering meetings are prearranged through the Bio 101 partnering system, and meetings will be scheduled on your behalf by us. And just a quick reminder, meeting scheduling begins on September the 26th, so that's next week. A little later in the day, everyone registered for the conference will be receiving just a reminder email letting you know to save that date and some tips and things that you can do immediately to get started in partnering and get your meeting scheduled and accept it in time. Meetings are scheduled based on mutual availability, by the way. This will come into play later on during the uh, live system preview. And keep in mind that meetings are scheduled for required participants versus optional. And the partnering system, as I mentioned, is now open. You should have received an email welcoming you to the Bio 101 partnering system for this event from biopartnering@bio.org. I also want to mention that if you have not received that email, then sometimes, unfortunately, it does land in your spam or your junk folder. So just you can take a look there. And while you're there, if you want, you can, it would be helpful if you add bio.org to your safe senders list so that none of your important partnering system notifications regarding your meetings will get lost there in the future. Okay, so whenever I'm introducing the partnering system to a conference attendee for the first time, I like to offer 5 easy steps that you can take to help you get started and have a more positive partnering experience throughout. The first being to create or update your company profile information. It says create or update. Depending on if you are new to partnering or new to partnering at this event, your company profile may not be currently populated with any information. But if you have happened to participate in a partnering event in the past, then you will see some other information that was used during that conference. And it's important to update that information just because it's easier for your company to be found when other companies are searching and using the partner system during their partnering outreach. The next thing you want to do is to indicate your calendar availability. This lets us know when to schedule your meetings, and that's important. I can also go into detail as far as that goes as we get further into the webinar. You want to also search for potential partners and send tailored meeting requests. That's underlined. It's really important that you want to be specific when you're reaching out to your prospective partners so that they understand why your company is a best fit or a best match to actually have a partnering meeting with. You want to avoid things like writing message or meeting requests in the subject line, since that's really generic and it's almost the equivalent of having email in your inbox, in your personal inbox, when you have a um, email inbox full of other emails. You probably will just ignore it. And then you want to review your message center and actively respond to meeting requests early and often. The more engaging you are, the more positive your partnering experience will be for this event. So again, it's good to give yourself room to review meeting requests and research those companies further, and then make an action on those meetings, whether it be decline or accept. And then lastly, again, you can get your meeting scheduled. Bio will be scheduling your meetings for you so that you arrive on the conference, at the conference, with a plan. All right, so some best practices. The first step is kind of baked into the best practices. You want to add as much detail to your company profile as possible. But once again, all of the fields that are populated in your company profile are searchable within the overall partnering system search. So the more information you have, the better opportunity you have to be found or discovered by other companies. And then again, just reiterating, start your outreach early as possible. New companies are being added daily as we frequently get new registration lists. So check back often, and there are simple ways that you can use the advanced search that can help you out with that as well. And regarding advanced search, you can use the advanced search to really drill down on specifics that really tailor your experience and to ensure that you are uh, meeting with companies that truly benefit your business development goals. And then again, you can increase your acceptance rate by tailoring your message. Again, you can use a subject line that is unique to the recipient, and it goes to show that you've done your due diligence and you've researched the company. And then you can also take this further in the content section of your meeting request. You don't want to be extremely lengthy, of course, but you don't want to be either generic or really simple. I will say if you are using a templatized message, it would be also good that you continue on and then personalize that template message beyond just the person's name at that company that you hope to meet with. It just takes your meeting request a step further. Um, and on that note, it's also important to note um, if you happen to be using a template and you make an error, once you send that meeting request, you cannot delete the language that you've already sent. You can, however, use the reply only to follow up um, and make those updates that way. So do keep that in mind. And continuing with reply only, you can use the reply only feature on a particular meeting request to respond to unresponsive companies or provide meeting updates. And this is useful. You'll see, and I'll probably reiterate again as we get further into the webinar. If you have done your due diligence by reaching out to companies early and you have not uh, received a reply or any action has been taken on your meeting, you can actually uh, use reply only again and then send a follow-up message. And what that will do is actually put that meeting request back at the top of the recipient's inbox, and it'll also mark it as unread. So the next time that recipient logs in, they will know that there's an action that needed to be taken on that particular meeting. Okay, updating your calendar. By default, all partnering calendars are set to unavailable. That is by design, and it is designed that way to give you the most flexibility in your partnering experience. there's a lot of offerings at this conference, and so we would like to give you the flexibility to enjoy a bit of everything. And so we don't want you to have to pick and choose your experience. We would like to give you complete control of it. You can also add partnering or programming or other personal events to your partnering calendar. If you are more traditional in the sense like I am, where you like a printout, you have the opportunity to either print or export your partnering calendar. Keep in mind that once a calendar is exported or printed, it's a static document, and so any updates won't be reflected there. You would need to reference the partnering system in real time again. And then also make updates to your partnering calendar as you would your partnering profile early and often. Uh, like I said, there are a lot of offerings at this event, so things change with your schedule. We do understand that, and so um, it would be nice if you would reflect that on your partnering calendar. Again, your calendar availability is what dictates when your meetings are scheduled. All right. And so again, with advanced search, helpful advanced search filters, the way are common ways that partnering system users use this feature is to search by included or excluded company types, which will either remove companies that have fit a certain company type or included company type altogether. Companies also search by therapeutic areas. You can also do your advanced search um, based on the companies that are recently added since your last search. We have a couple of preset filters, and you can also define your own specific time frame as well. Another popular way partnering users use the advanced search is through sponsors, postdoc, and federal lab company tags. These are the three that Maryland has decided to use, which is consistent over the past few iterations of this conference that have partnering included. Also, uh, you can filter your advanced search by companies, delegates, investors, assets, market products, and services as well. In regards to the message center, you would really want to accept and decline meeting requests frequently. It's really a habit, which is why this note is kind of on every slide so far. It's really important that you are being engaging and actively uh, doing your due diligence in your message center to make sure you get the meetings that mean the most to you. Accepted meetings, again, are scheduled based on the calendar availability of required meeting participants. This has allowed us to free up um, the possibility to actually schedule meetings that in previous iterations of this partnering system for this conference otherwise would not have been able to be scheduled during the conference dates. And that also cuts down on the need to follow up or find an alternative meeting time outside of the conference. If in your message center, if you see underneath a particular meeting a red indicator that says no mutual availability, that just means that a meeting cannot currently be scheduled at the moment. There's something going on with that meeting. Once you take a closer look at that meeting, some things that you can do on your end would be to open additional time slots on your partnering calendar if you are the required meeting participant. You can also consider marking some participants as optional. Again, that frees up the calendar availability since our scheduler takes into consideration accept the excuse me, it takes into consideration the required meeting participants over the optional meeting participants. If you've done your due diligence again and you've updated your partnering calendar, you are the required participant, there may be something going on with the other company and they're the ones that need to take action on that particular meeting. So to do so, you can use reply only just to suggest some times and then reiterate that you would really like to get this meeting on the books and just let them know that you're available to meet and your calendar is updated, just offer some times and try to work with the company. Again, once you use this reply only and you hit send, this will put that meeting request back at the top of the company's message center and mark that message as unread as well. And again, there are a lot of offerings at the conference. If you had a previously scheduled meeting that you wanted to take, and then you are the required participant and you must take that meeting and you cannot um, substitute another company delegate or colleague on that meeting, you can request a reschedule on a particular meeting, and then we can find you an alternative time. After you hit that request for schedule button, I do ask that you go back to your partnering calendar and you update those time slots that no longer work for you as unavailable so that no future meetings get scheduled in that time slot as well. All right, so I will now turn over to the partnering system demo. Okay, so this is the conference homepage. Again, you should have received your login information via email at biopartnering@bio.org. Once you successfully uh, set your password, you log into the system, you will be taken to the conference homepage for this year's event. And I'll just help you get a bit of a lay of the land so that you know what you're looking at if you are unfamiliar with this homepage. So at the top, you have the homepage here. You can be returned to this homepage from anywhere in the partnering system. Then you have the partnering profile, the search bar, your company calendar, um, the message center. You can also send a new request from here. And then off to the right hand of the screen, you have your company bookmarks, and then you have your headshot here. Is your delegate logo. If you click this, you can log out and you can edit your personal profile a bit more. Off to the right of the screen, scroll down just a bit. You have a snapshot of basically all the things that the partnering system offers. You have your profile visibility um, here, and you have meeting request information. You can also filter by incoming versus outgoing. Then you have information regarding your scheduled meetings as well. You can also filter this by incoming and outgoing. Uh, Here you can also download your company's calendar or your personal calendar. Again, if you're more traditional and you like to have a static copy of your schedule so that you can make notes or write on, or just as a fail-safe. And then underneath you have all of your partnering participants that appear here in your partnering profile, which means that anybody else that appears here besides you can also see your message center. They can attend meetings with you. They can also view your partnering calendar and make updates on your behalf as well. In the middle of the screen, you have another search bar here that you can conduct general searches. This is intended if you just want to quickly search a company that just came to mind to you. And then there's a drop down here where you can view any of your previously saved searches, and then you can conduct an advanced search from here as well. Then we have a bit of an information screen or a homepage here where we'll update you with relevant conference information as we get closer to the conference. Right now, once the webinar is made available by the Maryland team, we'll put that here for you, and then as well as give you an overview of other conference offerings. And then off to the right of the screen, it's just more generalized partnering information that you can digest at your own discretion. Uh, Customer service information, scheduling information, again, webinar information, really useful tutorials that appear at the bottom of the email as well. All right, so on to the company profile. By default, everyone's partnering profile is published. However, this is a test company for demonstration purposes, so it's left to not published. Again, off to the left, your company profile is kind of your presence at this conference, and so anyone who's any information that's populated here can be viewable or searchable as long as your partnering profile is set to publish. A lot of times, again, I'll reiterate this, if you are using this partnering system and you do see uh, profile information populated here, that means that it was used at a previous partnering conference. But information may have changed from partnering conference to partnering conference, or even down at to the delegate level where your company did attend, but a different company delegate or colleague from a different department had different business objectives for that particular conference. So you just want to take a look and then make updates as you need. You can do this with your company profile either published or unpublished. And so we have uh, the most popular ways that people search from the company profile description would be, of course, company type. It would be the brief description, which is kind of a snapshot or elevator pitch of your company. Whatever's populated here, will actually appear under your partnering profile in the generalized search. And it's good just to write a good, compelling, short company description. Um, or when companies or delegates are conducting generalized searches, they look and see, and then it's really easy to send a new request straight from there. Other fields include updating any news or company objectives, therapeutic areas as well. As I mentioned, that's one way that delegates or partner system users do search. You can update financial information and then generalize contact information as well, specifically the company country, city, and state as well. And then the URL is always helpful if you want potential clients of yours or partners of yours to do a bit more research on their own. And then here is the where you would put your company logo, which is different. I've actually seen people put headshots here, which your headshot should actually go to your delegate profile, which I'll show you in just a second. Um, Nonetheless, you have in the middle of the screen your different assets, services, and market products. If you have a drug that's on the market, you can mention that here. Um, if you're a service provider, you can enter your services that you have to offer or any products that are on the market currently as well. And again, this is another way that partner system users use the advanced search to filter or really drill down on the companies that they want to meet with. So if you have something, it would be good if you put it there. And then off to the right of the screen, we have the management section, which is different from the delegate section. This is just a way for you to call out any key people or notable employees at your business. And it doesn't adding them here or editing this information here does not actually create a partnering account. It just lets someone know that a key person does work with your company. And then again, it's a snapshot of your delegates. That's everyone who appears in your partnering profile with you, and then share a unified message center and partnering profile in general, and you can collaborate with them. And then under that, you click on each individual delegate. It'll take you to the delegate profile here, which you can update information. This is important when using the targeted feature, which I will get into, of course, a bit later in the webinar. It just helps people know who you are and what your role is at the company, and gives a better snapshot of the types of partnering meetings that you most likely will be taking. And I also want to call out the bottom of the delegate profile here is where your delegate contact information will be. This will come into play in the message center later on. If you want to share this information, with someone that's only viewable by them. So it's not like it's a free room where someone can just randomly use this information. It's probably a bit more personal than the company information down here. You can actually share this on a particular meeting with anyone that you choose to. And then you can also edit your partnering system notifications here by clicking on the pencil icon. By default, all of your partnering system notifications are set to be received, which means anytime anything happens to a meeting that your company is involved in, you'll get a notification. The most important one I would say to keep on is these iCal updates. That actually sends all your scheduled meetings in an email to your Outlook calendar, your iCal, or your Google calendar as well. And if you don't want to flood your personal inbox or your partnering the email associated with your partnering account, you can either uh, elect to have those partnering notifications not go to that email, but to an alternative one. And you can type that in here, either to another company delegate that's in your partnering profile or just another email address that you can access more easily. Okay, now I will go over to the partnering calendar. Again, this is your partnering calendar for this year's conference. Uh, so here's the drop down. If you are the only person in your company that's partnering this year, you will not see this drop down. However, if you are sharing a partnering profile with other colleagues, this is where you can go to update their partnering calendars if you so choose. This is the only partnering day that's offered this year. Um, Again, you can update your partnering calendars by default. It is set to unavailable, but I've went ahead and did some quick updates before the webinar. You can either click on each individual time slot to update just quick ones, or you can change the availability, your partnering availability for the entire day. But be sure to make sure that you click save and return. Again, you can also print or export your partnering calendar either individually or your entire company schedule so that if you do have partnering colleagues that are taking separate meetings from yours, you can uh, see what date and time and even what company they're meeting with as well. Uh, Off to the right of the screen, you have all of your sessions and education topics that are being offered at the partnering conference this year. You can add those as you see fit. And then once you click on add, you have the option of being available or not available to take partnering meetings. Partnering calendar. Now I will go over to the partner system search. Here is the general search page, and by default, um, this information is filtered by modification date. There are many ways and types of ways that you can conduct a search from the partnering system search page. Here, again, you can just type in general searches, biotechnology, for example, and then anywhere biotechnology is listed in a published company profile, it will appear here in these results. You can also, again, search by delegates, assets, market products, or services. You can use this toggle here to see all the investor-specific data that pertains to companies with published profiles. There's some search tips here, which basically helps you understand the logic, which will yield more thorough search results as well. You can also save your search. You can view your search history here. You can export your specific search, and then you can also make notes on particular companies that appear in a search, and then you can export those as well. Okay, so right now you see there's 0 filters, so that's showing specifically every company that's published with a partnering profile available to take partnering meetings if you search through. However, you can use the advanced search button here. Again, you can general search by all of these, and you can also conduct advanced searches by all of these different tabs as well: delegates, investors, assets, market products, and services. So, for example, just going back to some of the popular ways that companies conduct an advanced search, let's say, for instance, you were looking for uh, a biotech company that was based in the United States. Just conduct those two, and then you would click search now, and then you're left with 26 companies. If this is good enough for you to look through, you can just click on Save Search as New, and it'll appear here. And then you can also, if you wanted to bookmark some of these companies, you could just click on this star here, which will add a bookmark, and then you can click up here, and then they'll appear in the bookmark section as well. And so that you do not need to run the exact same search over and over again, you can just click on your Save Search, and then it'll already be pre-populated. And if you wanted to either open up the search a bit more, or if you wanted to drill down further, you could do so. So we'll just take a previously saved search and then click on the Advanced Search tab. And then we'll just open this up to all US companies. And then you see it went from 12 to 72. And you can also conduct an advanced search by company registration date. As I mentioned, these are the pre-populated options that you can use, which will take your saved search, and then you could, in theory, click any one of these options, and then once you click search now, you'll be given updated results based on your criteria. Other um, popular ways that people search again are by company tag. So if you wanted to filter this list further, you could click on sponsor, click on search now, and it'll show you all the companies that have the sponsor tag listed. And it's also taken into consideration the companies that were registered by last month at least. And again, a few more notes regarding the search. Anytime someone saves a search, it's viewable by anyone that's in your partnering profile. So it's not just unique to you. You can also, again, export these searches if you wanted to filter or drill down a bit more in Excel format. And then you can also export your notes as well. Right, so now I'll go over to the message center here, keeping with helping you get acquainted with the lay of the land. You can filter your message center in many types of ways by requests that you're tagged in, requests that you are targeted in as well. And then you can enter some keywords that appear in a particular meeting. You can filter by unread messages, incoming request, outgoing request, or you can use these buttons here, and then you can filter by the status of your meeting request. And then, like the generalized search, you can also use advanced search to filter your message center. This is usually more beneficial to companies with a lot of partnering delegates all in one, since there are so many moving parts. Um, And then at the top here, you can export your message center if it's easier to find the information that you need. Anytime, For example, anytime a filter is applied, you can also export your message center that way as well. And it'll only show you the meetings that are based on the filters that you have applied. Okay, tags and then tagged colleagues. Tags are internal to your company, and it's free text. You could tag a particular meeting request by, for example, therapeutic area or by the company delegate who should best respond or the company department. It's really up to you what you choose. Um, so I've just created one here, drug collaboration, given that the meeting request um, speak specifically of collaborating with me on a particular drug for a clinical trial. So once you click that, you go back. Now you see that tag has been applied to this particular meeting request. You can also remove them by clicking the X there. All right, and then tagged colleagues. Again, this is anyone who has, you can tag a colleague like that and you can put them on a particular meeting request to call to their attention as well if they are not targeted or appear as a meeting participant. All right, targeted delegates here. This comes into play when you are sending a new request here. And then so just to give an example, when you click on new request, you begin typing the company, just for example. Then you would type your title. Again, you would want to avoid meeting request. You would type your content, and then here's the targeted delegates, and also it goes into play when you updated the delegate profile information. It's helpful and on the delegate search so you can choose. This is optional. I would recommend that you only use this feature if you do know the person and definitely is that's the one that you want to meet with. Maybe you've spoken to them or you know them or you've seen them on the conference floor. You've spoken to them briefly and they said, yeah, go ahead and send a meeting request. It's not required, so if you don't necessarily need to use it, then it's okay to avoid it. And you would then enter any of your linked resources. Again, this is any of your assets, market products, or services that appear in their profile here that you've added. Again, this is optional, but it's always helpful. It's like an attachment to your message. And then you would select your partnering participants. One common roadblock that um, I get asked about is you've done everything up until this point where you select a participant, but this happens to be grayed out. That's just an indicator that you need to update your partnering calendar first, at least one time slot, so that you can actually send your meeting request. And then once you do that, you come back here, you can select either you by default, or you can on a different um, click on choose, and then you can select any of your other partnering uh, colleagues. And then you hit send, and then will appear here. Okay, so then off to the middle of the screen is where all of your existing meeting activity will appear. And then so if you have an accepted meeting, go here. It's just waiting to be scheduled currently. And then you have a scheduled meeting here. This is what it will look like with your meeting information here for reference. This will also appear on your partnering calendar here in dark blue. And these are all of your sessions that you're attending. I also want to call out this sort of dot here that's filled in. This is an indicator that you are a required meeting participant on this particular meeting. And then if I just do a quick move over to my colleague Scott's calendar, you'll see that theirs has a hollow circle here. That's an indicator that they're an optional meeting participant. So just a quick reference that usually helps at a glance. Okay, so here is a meeting request that cannot currently be scheduled. You see here, there's the no mutual availability indicator. Uh, the first thing I would do is just go back to my calendar to see if my meeting availability is either sparse or my stack with meetings. It looks like I'm pretty much open. Um, but because this is a test, I know that I can have my colleague Scott to take this meeting and I can actually be set to optional there. And then you can do a quick refresh. And as you see, that meeting now can be scheduled since it freed up that particular time slot. I think that is all for now. I will turn it back over to, I want to mention Bio 101 Partnering mobile app is available for this conference. It's kind of a companion app to use while you're on site. It isn't as comprehensive as the desktop version, but you can do uh, pretty much a lot of things that you can from the desktop. You can quickly update your calendar availability. You can send new meeting requests, and you can even view the partnering profiles of the companies that already exist in your meeting requests, as well as requesting or setting last minute schedules or meeting reschedules. And it's available on App Store or Google Play. Just search for Bio Partnering in your preferred app store. All right, so now I'll turn it over to the question and answers. Let me just pull up Zoom again. I don't see any open questions. Did my teammates get them all?
You did such a good job, Lorenzo.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Again, it was a pleasure. Again, myself and Ryan will be on site at the conference, and we'll be right outside the Brookside room on level 2. And I'll turn it back over to Wendy.
Hey, Lorenzo, I think we still have we just got a couple questions.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you guys want to take a look at them.
Uh, I still have not received my email with my login information. It's not in my spam. Okay, yeah, you can give us your name and then you can send us an email to biopartnering@bio.org and we'll take a closer look and get you your login information. Partnering is already open and active. Uh, Companies are sending meeting requests. So as long as you're registered for the conference, you should receive your partnering email with login information and access details within 2 business days. But I promise you, I'm always in there looking for new registrants and getting them the information. Because as I mentioned, it's important to get in there early and often to do your partnering outreach.
That's great. Thanks, Lorenzo. And we will have this recording on the Maryland Tech Council Bioinnovation Conference website. If anybody wants to look at it again, or we can share it with other people after they register. Great. No more questions? Thanks, everyone.